So, yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I really have, like, no other idea as to what I want to talk about. Plus, since I already talked about Global 1, I really do want to get to Global 2 eventually, but I'll get the reasons why momentarily. But first, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Let's see. My low yesterday is I think, to be perfectly honest, yesterday nothing really bad particularly happened. Like, I guess, like, there was one, as, like, I was shopping, there was something else I was looking for that wasn't corned beef hash, like I said yesterday. And it wasn't at one store, so I had to go to another. So, I guess my low is about as mildly inconvenient as the mild inconvenience. My high, on the other hand, though, now my high, well, yeah, my high is, it's several things, actually. I got to spend some time with folks yesterday. I got to see my grandma and grandpa on their 68th anniversary. Yeah, it was yesterday. So I got to see them. And, you know, we got to talk. My grandfather and I talked. We talked about cars. Seriously, my grandfather, like, loves watching, like, History Channel and, like, all those, auctions where you see, like, those really fancy looking cars are, like, over $100,000 or something. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like cars too, but I don't really have, like, that driving passion that he and my father have. Like, seriously, my grandfather can almost pick out, like, what sort of engine a car has just by looking at it. That's how much he loves cars. And, you know, we talked about cars, we talked about football, we talked about my nephews. So, yeah. And it was all right before, because here's the thing, normally on Saturdays, I would take my grandmother out to go to church, but she didn't want to go. So, seeing her before I went to church was the best possible idea. Plus, and this goes with my act of kindness, I actually gave them the anniversary card. Yeah, I know, technically I didn't really need to do much, because the only people that need to give anyone anything on an anniversary are, you know, the two people in question. But I wanted to do it. I wanted to see my grandma and grandpa, and I did. So, yeah, that was great. And, you know, after I went to see them, I went to church, went to dinner at Sorge's with my mom and dad. I ordered the prime rib special with, you can actually get it with melted blue cheese on it. It's awesome. With the fries, their minestrone soup, which I adore, and their Italian, and the salad with Italian dressing and crumbly blue cheese with extra onions. You gotta go extra onions with me. My father ordered the same kind of salad, only minus the extra onions. He ordered the strip, actually, with, actually he got his with spaghetti. See, you can get, at Sorge's you can get, like, spaghetti or, like, some sort of starch or potato or fries ever. But I get fries because, come on, steak and fries, you can't beat that, right? So, yeah, my father ordered spaghetti, and my mother, because she actually arrived late, so she had her salad. And Sorge's actually has a pasta buffet, so she got the pasta buffet. So that's what we did. And, you know, they went to go see my grandparents after we were done. I had some shopping to do, and so after I was done, I immediately headed to their place. We hung out for a little bit. We watched some college football. You know, saw the Miami Hurricanes, play against Clemson. I don't know who won last night. I gotta look that up. We saw Notre Dame play Florida State. My grandfather, who is a huge Notre Dame fan. And, yeah, I was just really wonderful evening. Although I went to bed so incredibly late, that's why this video is, you know, running late now. And, I just said my act of kindness was, actually I did several acts of kindness. It was giving my grandparents their anniversary card. I mean, I was going to do it anyway, but, you know, I mean, you can say it's an act of kindness, sure, why not? Actually, it is an act of kindness. Why am I even debating on that? Anyway, so I gave my grandparents their anniversary card. Because I actually beat my folks home before they got back from visiting my grandparents. So I did a few things around the house for them. My mom had something thawing outside, so I put it back in the refrigerator. And I also emptied out their garbage can, which was very much overflowing. So yeah, I did several lexicons. Yesterday was just a really good day. Huh. Maybe I should talk about my classes more often. Let's test that today, shall we? Good morning and happy Sunday, everybody. So, I talked about Global 1 yesterday, so it only makes sense I talk about the other half, which is Global 2. Now, I said that Global 1 is essentially global history. But the global history in Global 1 is more of the ancient world, like the Romans, the Egyptians, all the other famous, historical areas of the world. Global 2 focuses much more on, more modern day things. World War I, World War II, NATO, how the Great Depression affected the entire world. The world today in some ways. So, yeah, that was, Global 2. Global 2, here's the thing. I don't give myself enough credit for being enough of, like, a history nerd, because I really do like learning about history. I really do. And, if it's like ancient civilization or, again, something like World War II, I'm immediately interested in for some reason. Although I think I get that from my father. I just said my grandfather watches the History Channel a lot. My father does too. He is, seriously, I think of all things history related, my father is the biggest expert on both of the world wars and the Civil War. But the Civil War is only American history, and that's a different class altogether. So we're talking about global. And, I think about what this class because here's the thing. This was 2005 when I took this class, like spring of 2005. And by the end of the class, we were already discussing, albeit relatively briefly, on the events of September 11th. And keep in mind, this wasn't even 4 years after the fact. I mean, I remember taking the global regions exam, like nothing that incredibly close to the present was discussed. But I do remember us talking about it a very little bit. I mean, the class was fun. It was actually in a really tiny, seriously, I have been in like almost all of the classrooms at Horseheads High School at the time. And no offense to the teacher, but that classroom was tiny. Not the most tiny. I'll be getting in that class on a later date. But this class was a small classroom. It felt awfully crowded because there was like maybe 20, 23 kids in that class. It was a fun class. I remember like this, I will admit, I was like the most not obnoxious I was like one of the most obnoxious kids back in the day. There was like this one girl who like could not stand me at all. But we eventually both warmed up to each other. That was really cool. But just learning about world history, like in a more modern sense, again, like the world wars, like everything going on in the world, stuff like that. It was fun. It was interesting. It was actually stuff that I remember asking my dad about a lot that I actually knew. How could that not interest me? But there's one thing I do gotta talk about this class the most, and this is why I've been saving for the end on purpose. It was my teacher in Global 2. My teacher in Global 2 was awesome. Like the other day when I did that Back to School video, I said I had some legendary faculty members at Horseheads High School. This teacher was one of them for sure. So, yeah. And here's the thing. You wanna know why one of the reasons why she's a legendary faculty member? She's still teaching there, even now. Yes, well over a decade after, actually, a decade and a half almost, since like I had her as a teacher and she's still there. So already that's cool. But she always had a knack for remembering like all of, like the best classes that she ever like had. In terms of like teaching her students. Like seriously, my brother went to Notre Dame High School, and my Global 2 teacher would talk about how like the class that my brother would have been in was like one of the best she ever had. If my brother went to Horseheads and he had this teacher as his teacher for global, it probably would have been like her crowning jewel. But, you know, I don't think she ever really played favorites. I don't think she played favorites necessarily for classes, but, you know, it's just one of those things I theorized, if you will. And fun fact, I actually still talk to this teacher on occasion, even now. Yeah, I mean, it's the occasional Facebook post that, you know, you comment and stuff. But, you know, it's still something. You know, a lot of students that went to Horseheads may very well know exactly who I'm talking about. I mean, actually, I would give a hint as to the name, but she wound up sort of doing that herself. She actually goes by I never say her full name, but actually, if I gave out the initials, is that technically giving a name away? Forget it. I'm sure that she may actually be watching this video, I don't know. But she went by Mrs. H. You know, the eighth letter, the alphabet letter H. So, yeah, so any Horseheads alumni watching this, you already know exactly who I'm talking about. She was just a really cool teacher. And, like, really engaging. Seriously, it was her class where I properly learned how to write, like, an essay. Like, with an introductory paragraph, like, 5 paragraph. Like, that's where I perfected learning how to write a 5-paragraph essay was in Global 2. Seriously. And, like, I followed that format for, like, the rest of my life. Or at least for, you know, high school or whatever. So, that was really cool. She actually because here's the thing. My Global 2 teacher is about the same age as, like, my parents. So, like, she grew up, like, you know, in the 50s, 60s, well, probably born in, like, late 50s, was a kid in the 60s, teenager, 70s, and so on. She actually once told the story of how, like, her neck is permanently, like, messed up because, like, her hair grew to be so incredibly long. This is, like, when she was a kid in, like, the 60s or whatever. Her hair grew to be incredibly so long, like, it not only, like, reached to the floor, but the weight from all her hair, like, sort of, like, permanently, like, hurt her neck or something. I mean, when you're a kid, it sounds cool, but, you know, it does give you a brief insight as to who the sort of, you know, teacher I have is. So, that's awesome. What's also notable about, Global 2? I guess it's kind of hard to really talk about anything else without going into, like, the main reason why because here's the thing, I live in upstate New York, and I've said this before, we have what are called Regents exams, and I took and naturally after I was done with Global 2, I took the Regents exam for that. Looking back at it, because I said this before, when I took Math A and Math B, it was like they were both, because one thing about Regents exams that always made me upset, I could never break 90 on those things. Like, the closest I got were like 3 of my Regents exams were like 89s or like really close to it. That's how, like, upset I was. Like, the worst Regents exams I did were Math B and English. They were both 74s. Math A and Global, they were both like those 2 of those 3 89s I mentioned. So, yeah, that's sort of problem I had to deal with. But, you know, obviously I'm a grown man with a college education. I'm pretty sure I turned out okay in terms of getting grades like those in my Regents exams. Honestly, I don't think I was really ever explained why, like, I need a Regents diploma. I really was never explained to me, but I have it, so can't really complain much about it else. Wow, I've been talking for so long, I forgot to make my NFL picks. Alright, I'll get this out of the way now. Sorry I'm taking so long. This, you know, Global 2 is just a really good course. And should my teacher from Global 2 be watching? Hello? Your Cleveland Browns beat my Cowboys, by the way. Not happy about that. Oh, I'm sure you probably are. Those young, because that's one thing about my Global 2 teacher. She's also a Cleveland Browns fan. So take that information what you will. So on today's games, you have the Jaguars and the Texans. Yeah, the Texans are doing terrible. I'm picking the Jaguars to win. Bengals and the Ravens. The Bengals had a big win yesterday. It was Joe Burrow's first NFL win. But the Ravens got this. The Ravens are going to totally smoke the Bengals. Panthers and the Falcons. Yeah. The Falcons are nothing this year. I mean, they gave up 2 really big leads, one of which was against my Cowboys. Yeah, this is an easy pick, the Panthers. I'm picking the Panthers to win. Okay, this is weird. Because the Chiefs and the Raiders are supposed to be playing, like, today. I don't know what's going on because they're also playing the Bills on Tuesday, so I really have no idea what's going on. Again, I only do like the games today. So should the Raiders play the Chiefs, I'm picking the Chiefs. There you go. Cardinals and that, yeah, I'm picking the Cardinals over the Jets. The Jets are nothing. Kyler Murray's going to tear the Jets up. Let's see, Eagles and Steelers. Ah, goody. Both teams from Pennsylvania. Both teams I really don't like. Yeah, I'm picking the Steelers. I don't want the Eagles to get another win. All right, Los Angeles Rams against the Washington football team, the Rams. Man, these picks are easy to do for me. Dolphins and 49ers. Again, these are easy picks. I guess it is kind of a good thing I say this to the very end, because this is like short and sweet. Giants and the Cowboys, okay. As bad as my Cowboys are, and by all accounts, I really should give up on them. I'm not going to give up on them. Go Cowboys. I'm picking them to win over the Giants. Colts and the Browns, okay. If the Browns can beat the Colts, which I will root for the Browns for today, I'll be a believer for sure. The Browns actually have like a winning record by the first time in like 15 years or something. It's unbelievable. And tonight's game, the Vikings and the Seahawks, I'm picking the Seahawks. Again, all easy picks for me. So again, the recap, the Jaguars, the Ravens, the Panthers, the Chiefs, the Cardinals, the Steelers, the Rams, the 49ers, my Dallas Cowboys, Cleveland Browns, and the Seattle Seahawks. So, yes, in honor of my Global 2 teacher, I picked the Cleveland Browns to win today. In case you're watching again, this is H. Hello. Like, favorite, share, hit the subscribe button, follow me, so you plan to show me on YouTube. I'm very humble in this video for all of you guys who watch and enjoy today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. You're ready watching football. Remember, you guys want to talk with channel, always going to be here to lend an ear. Always, everybody, take care and make good choices. Bye.